Hello, beloved ones. 𝐩𝐞𝐫𝐜𝐞𝐢 here. I am an authentic self embodiment soul liberator and a quantum wish doctor. And I just invited you today to connect with me here. This is not a one-man show. We are gonna have a conversation. If you are ready and willing to perceive yourself differently, if you are willing to start shifting things in your life, I just invite you to connect with me and let's have a conversation. Because everything that you do, everything that you be, everything that you desire to manifest, every challenges that you come through, what determines the kind of outcome you're going to have is the perception of who you are. Your self-view is what matters. This is why I'm inviting you to connect with me, share something. How do you perceive yourself? Because we're gonna have a conversation here. When I talk about you claiming your divine light consciousness, your multidimensional aspect, your God aspect, what does that say to you? What comes through in the forefront? Because at times you realize that one thing that is holding us back is our beliefs. When you're just told first thing you are God, is kind of like, oh my God. And talking about that, I still remember years ago when I was dealing with my situation, the separation with my children, and I just had this nudge to say, take a paper and start writing. And I started writing. And I was just writing, and the questions that were just coming through to say, who are you without your career, your position, your job, your parents, your religion? I was just writing a lot. And when I wrote your children, I broke down and started crying. That's when I realized that this is deep and it's for me. And at that moment, I realized that I do not know who I am. And that's when I started asking myself that question, who am I really? If I get to get rid of who I have been told I am, and the labels and the attachments that I have attached to, which at that time, the most pain that I felt, and I felt that I was not enough because I was not with my children. Since having children, that was my identity. And at times we grow up with so many expectations depending on your culture, the society, and all that, where there is sort of requirements or expectations of who you be for you to be seen as enough of a woman. And I'm speaking about this because most of these labels, they limit us, and they are mostly attached to women, although there are some that are more into men, but mostly the definition of what a real woman is, or a good girl, or a marriage type kind of woman, or even a career woman, a family woman, those labels, marital status. There's just so many things that we hold into. Even the religion, we never question anything. We're just going with whatever that we are given. And when I was told to release everything that I've ever identified with, which is my family, my religion, the status that I had, or the qualifications that I had. I mean, when you let go of all that, who are you? And this is why I'm here to ask you, how do you perceive yourself? Because whatever that you're going through in your life, whatever challenges that you have and how you feel maybe powerless, or whatever that you desire to create in your life, if you do not have the perception of yourself as the multidimensional being of light, the creator, the God aspect, who really gets to see things from that perception of God, knowing that whatever that is happening, it's just you expanding into another, into a level, another level of yourself. You're just experiencing more of you. You are just experiencing your expansion. And even when you connect with other people, rather than seeing them as separate from you, you see them as that God aspect that you see in yourself. So how do you perceive yourself if you're willing to gain some more insights to see what is holding you back? I just invite you to connect with this and just take a deep breath. Because one thing that we forget a lot is just that we are the breath. Because when you take the last breath, you release this body. So the breath is a very important aspect of who we are. But how do you perceive yourself in every situation? Because there are different areas, even when you talk about creations, there is that spiritual side to say, when you talk about your spirituality, um, who are you? And this brings me to this other memory that is coming through when I first had a session with another amazing spiritual mentor. And I think that was the first time I actually had a healing session with someone, and she asked me why I was compelled to book a session with her, and I just told her that I felt this God message and all that, and she asked me, "Actually, I'm being called to ask you who God is. Mm. Do you perceive God as someone who stays in the clouds, someone who is separate from you, or you perceive God as that which you are?" And I still remember I was just like, and a part of me was triggered because at times we hold so much into the beliefs, what we were told we are, the beliefs that we've held for so long, that even when we are coming through something new, instead of being open to feel into it, to allow your soul to guide you or share with you what is truth, what is true for you, the first thing that we do is just go into that. I'm just trying to find this page so that I can share it. Okay, there I go. We go first into being defensive. Basically, what we're doing is we are defending our beliefs. We are coming from that fear to say, I have known this for a long time, and I'm not willing to unknow this so that I can know what is truth in this moment. Because we evolve. And as we evolve, the question is, how much truth can you handle? At times you realize that you might have known something for a long time, and then after some time you realize, I am not fully aligning with this. There is something that my soul is calling me to explore, and what could that be, and what is standing in between that truth and who you really are? Because at times life will lead you into that journey of finding who you are. Like I said, I went through this journey of myself and the separation with my children. And when everything came into my awareness was when I realized that I do not have any choice. And what I want is just a way to solve this problem that is in front of me. Because the first thing that I did was to go to the lawyers, which is what everybody does. If you have a case, like in my case where it was something to do with my children, and I couldn't be with my children, and I had all these facts, when we have all this facts in our mind to say, I've been with my children, I've been a single mother, I've been supporting them by myself, I didn't get any help, and I knew that it's an obvious case, you know. So I was surprised when I went into the court of law, and whatever that happened was totally different. And it was just shock, kind of like a shock to my system. I could not believe what was happening. And that's when an aspect of me felt totally powerless. I could not, I could not, even when I was telling people what was happening, the kind of like, I don't think that is possible, especially that this is someone who I was not married to. So the question was, how is it possible that the law can be in his favor while they are facts? And again, you were not even married, and these children had been with you, because by then my elder son was 7 years, my daughter was 5 years. So I fell into that powerless thing, and every decision that I made was coming from that powerless. And even the prayer was that prayer of, God, see what they're doing to me, because it's that God out there, the God who's going to judge them, and the God who would favor me because they can see what is happening. And the message that was just coming through at that moment was, find who you are. This is why even at the end, when I wanted to go to court, I don't know for how many times, and the message that just came through is, it's not the time. If you go, you're gonna lose this case again. And I asked, what is it that I can do in this now moment? And the message that came through was, it's time for you to forgive. And trust me, I just laughed because it was funny. I was just like, are you kidding me? Forgive what? You know, uh, I could not fathom all of that. And in my mind, I could not even comprehend that the case can be solved by me changing the frequency and perceiving things differently. And I said, I don't even know how to. And the question was, are you willing? And I was willing because I was in pain. But then I was not in my knowing. I was just that person who is doubtful. So how do you perceive yourself? If you're watching this, please share where you're watching this from. If it's replay, press #replay and share what is coming through for you. Do you find yourself in situations where, as we always say, life is difficult? They're doing something to me, something is happening, you don't even know how to solve it, and maybe you feel powerless, maybe you feel angry, guilt, you don't even understand you're going through a grief process where it's like, I don't even know what to do. I don't even, because what I realize is that when we are in that in those moments where we feel like there is a problem that is bigger than us, as much as in our mind we believe that God will see us, but there is a God, there is a fractal of God that we have in our mind, where it's kind of like, for you, God is the God that will come and rescue you and maybe put the other one in judgment, or give the other one punishment for doing whatever they did. And that's the time when you kind of like limit the knowingness, the wisdom, the freedom that is coming through, the expansiveness of you getting to realize who really God is. Because in your mind, because what you've been taught, you have defined who God is in your life. So how do you perceive yourself? I want you to share with me wherever that you're at, whether you are trying to manifest the relationship, whether you are trying to manifest prosperity, abundance, whether you want to grow even spiritually, whether you are going through a challenging time. Because in every situation that we find ourselves, God is present. And God might be showing up for you through that challenge that you find yourself feeling like you're powerless. And it's like that moment where it's kind of like you get to be in the dark so that you can really see who you really are. Because at times when we are in the light, we don't get to realize the light that we emanate, radiate, and get to experience from within. But when we get into the dark, that's when we get to see, oh, I am so bright. That is if you are willing to really embrace who you are, if you are willing to let go of the resentment, the judgment, this is not God, and be. Even the prayer of just, God, show me your presence, show me who you are. What can I learn from this situation? What is this situation really teaching me? How can I have an amazing, orgasmic, balanced, supportive relationship? And that's when you invite yourself to step into that frequency. Because one of the questions that I ask people is, what is it that you want? What is it that you desire? Because a desire is one big thing that always lead us to who we are and who we be. And if immediately an idea comes into your awareness and you push it away because you don't believe that it's possible for you, which most of the time we do that by bringing in the money aspect. I don't have money to actualize that. So it's a pass for me. And God is not saying, is not checking your bank balance before God brings that into your awareness. God just knows and sees you as God to say you are capable of that. So what is your self-image? What is it that is stopping you from getting out and shifting things that are happening in your awareness, whatever challenge that you are dealing with? It could be health, it could be money issues, it could be career, business, and all that. What is it that is limiting your growth to expansiveness? What is it that is limiting is limiting you to embrace that amazing divine creator that you are? Because when you get to see yourself every day from that God self, knowing that everything that is out there is you, um it's everything that is coming from within. How you perceive yourself from within is what is coming to your awareness, which is that which you are manifesting. Because when you get to a point where you get to embody and embrace that you are God, you know that you've got the power to shift any and everything that is in your reality, everything in your creation, everything in your imagination. It's you claiming the God that you are. And that's exactly what happened when I allowed that higher intelligence to guide me. I ended up being with my children without being at court, because at first my limitation was the only way that I get to be with my children is through the court of law. And at the same time, there was that contraction around it to say I went through 7 lawyers and nothing has changed. And its cost is very expensive. So a part of me did not believe that is possible for me to end up with my children. This is why at the end, I just surrendered and say, God, guide me. Show me what is possible when I claim my God, my divine, sacred divinity and power to shift every single creation in my reality. Because when we talk about everything that is outside of you, it's you are emanating that from within you. The mirror gets to show you what is it that you're holding within, what is it that you have aligned with in your life as you continue with life. Because we come across so many things. We come from maybe your ancestral lineage and all that, whatever that you have agreed with at a soul level. So that is what is showing up to say, hey, even though you might look at yourself and mind you believe this is true, look at this, which is a tool that is very effective if you are willing to use it to say, okay, you're not judging it, but you are holding it with compassion and at the same time radiating the love that is coming from within you, seeing it from that light and reminding it that you might have forgotten who you are, but you are light. That's you embodying who you are. That's you shining the light from within. That's you claiming your power from there doing something to me. That's you claiming your power from you seeing yourself as less than. Because your self-image, anything and everything that you get to create in life, it all starts with who you see, how you see yourself, who you be, who you are, who is showing up. Even if you say, for instance, maybe you want money right now, and I'm asking you, okay, fine, how would it feel like to create to have 500,000, for instance? Watch how your body is reacting, because you might want that from the head up, but your body, your heart, your body is not in alignment with it. There might be a word that is coming, maybe from your parents, maybe from your teachers, maybe from your friends, saying something else, maybe even from your ancestors. Because I still remember some years ago when I started my business, and every time when I bring in the prosperity, I'll just hear the voice that said, I don't like money. I do not like money. It kept coming. And that's when I get to look at this aspect to say, who is this and why? You know. So that's when we get to bring in the light, shine the light, integrate all these aspects. But if you are holding into somebody else out there has the power to create a mess in my life, someone out there has the power to shift the things in my life, then you are leaving the most important person out. Because all you get to do is for you to bridge the gap that is between where you are at, how you perceive yourself, and what you want. Which at times you find that is those programming, is those conditioning, is those beliefs of who am I, or as the poor ones, the labels that you've held into, the masks at times that we wear, because at times we hold into masks. We want to stay in our comfort zone with what we know or how we perceive ourselves because it has served you for a long time. But is it sustainable? Because if you get to depend on someone outside of you, you still don't have the power. The power is when you get to anchor in your body, connect with yourself, be able to listen to that guidance that is coming through. Like when I said, I just had this guidance to say, take a pen and start writing. And when I started writing, I was just asked, who are you without your parents, without your career, without your religions? And I just started writing. Without your children. And that's when I started asking myself, who am I? I'm a multidimensional being of light. I'm the creator. You know, I am not even this body. But still, that does not mean this body is not important. It is important because whatever criticism, whatever conversation that I have in my head, it is sending an instruction to my body to say, this is how we feel about ourselves. Which most of the time, like the mind is a very intelligent system. But if you are operating it from those inner criticism, those unworthiness voices, whatever that you might have heard from other people, all those experiences that might have happened when you were a child, when you did not have the capacity to view things differently, then you are limiting yourself. So how do you perceive yourself? What is it that inner being within you wants to express in this lifetime? Just take a deep breath there and allow that to sink in. And I trust that you are opening your heart and inviting the being of light that are with you, your ancestors of pure love and light, to be present with you. And anywhere and everywhere where you might be denying yourself to be the embodiment of that love that wants to express itself within you, to be the embodiment of God. Because even when you talk about God, people have this thing to say, oh, I'm from this religion, I'm not from that religion. But when you talk about God, we're talking about that love and light, which is what we are. It doesn't matter from which religion you follow. It's just that you are light and love. We are one. The time of separation to say it's them and us, it's over. We are just love. We are just one. This is why it's important that when you are having that inner criticism, whatever your self-talk is all about, whatever the perception of yourself it's all about, even if you're going through something with somebody, if you get to anchor in yourself and just ask yourself, how would in my higher intelligence perceive this? How would that God self that I am perceive this? And just open your heart and allow that wisdom to come through. Because we have already programmed ourselves to rush into hatred, because it's all about hatred. It's all about fear. When you're coming from fear, it's like life and death. If I don't do something, then I'm gonna end up dead. This is how your body it's reacting. But when you're coming from love, there is it's different. It doesn't mean that everything is peaceful, but there is that compassion frequency that is just being called through. And even you, because at times that's just what I do, ask that love frequency to just come through, because you realize that because I perceive myself for a long time as somebody who's very strong. I just took pride in that. For me, it was like nothing can stop me, because I am this amazing, powerful, strong person. And every single challenge that I came across, for me, it was like it's war. I brought in that inner warrior. But we can bring in that inner warrior that is not fighting, that is just using love and light. And that's what I choose to align with. To say, if I bring in that inner warrior, it's not to say it's war as in like between me and them. It's just for me to bring in the light that I am, to embody that, so that I can be in love and see the other one as the love that they are. And I love this quote from Paul Selig. You cannot claim the light and see the other in darkness. And that just what the guys are just saying here is that whenever we're going through a situation and we see ourselves as the ones that God loves, God, come help me. You can see what they're doing to me. You know, those evil people and all. That's the separation that we're creating already. And how can you really be the light if you have already decided who the other one is? And that other one is also it's you know. And if you put that other person in darkness, be it in a cave and lock the cave and all that, a part of you somehow is always thinking of this person that you've locked somewhere. So you cannot have peace, because somehow it's kind of like you've given them residence in your heart. You've basically opened a room and say, you're gonna stay here in the room, and I'm gonna close you here, and I'm gonna switch off the light. You're gonna stay here, but I'm gonna have my light here and shine the light here. It doesn't match, because they are within you. You are holding them within in that light. It's different when you choose to say, I see who you are in truth. That is, besides what they do, besides that they have forgotten who they are, but you are choosing to see the light that they have within them. And that, of course, it's a journey that gets to humble us. But the beautiful thing is, the more you perceive yourself as that powerful light being, as that powerful goddess, multi-dimensional being of light, you just know that this is your playground. You just get to shift things. You are not waiting for somebody to change. You are not waiting for somebody to give you permission. You are not waiting for someone to perceive you in any other way. This is why it's easy for you to fully embody your authentic self, knowing that you are love and light, knowing that it does not matter how others perceive you, but you are not willing to dim your light, because you see them as the light and the love that they are. You see them as the God aspects that they are. The question is, are they willing to embrace that God that is within them? And that's when you get to connect with your guidance, that intuition. So when someone gets to, whether they speak to you or they share whatever that they're sharing with you, you can discern that that might be that truth, but it's not my truth. Is not in alignment with who I am. Because when you are relaxed and you are not coming from that flight or fight mode, there's that light that you're just opening up, that sexual energy, which is that life force energy that you are activating from within. When we are in that fight or flight mode, we are not able to activate that light because we are always tense. We are always looking out to who is doing what to me, which I love that when in most of my sessions, when it comes to embracing the God aspect, one question that I love to ask my client is, what is that relationship with God? And who is God? And mostly will just say, yeah, I believe that I'm a part of God. I believe in God, which is like the most beautiful thing. And one question, what is quite interesting, because I get to feel the energy, and I would feel that energy that is fear of betrayal. It's like someone feels like they get to watch their back all the time. And when you get to watch your back all the time, that means you don't even trust that God has your back. So you believe in God, but at the same time, you don't believe in God. You don't trust that God will have your back. It's kind of like I have to watch my own back because I know that God, you are not there. So, what is it that might have transpired, what that happened in your life that led you to believe that if God was present, this wouldn't be happening? Which maybe it could be someone that you love that passed on. Maybe it could be an experience of an accident or pain, whatever that you went through that leads you to at that moment just deny God and say, if God was present, this wouldn't be happening. And most of the people are afraid of just embracing the truth that I stopped believing that God is present because ABC happened. And I believe being in that moment where you're like, I don't think God exists because whatever reason that you have, it's a good space to be in because in that moment you're just asking to say, God, show me your presence. And most of the time, this happens at times when we follow our wherever that we get to connect with people and pray for God and all that. It could be churches and all that. And when you get to be betrayed from one person that you maybe believed in, or maybe like, at times we go to church and you look up to the priest, the pastor and all that, and you've got this faith that, oh, this is it. And something happens because you do not have faith in the God that is within. You had faith through somebody who was in front of you. There is a part of you that believes that, no, if God was present, this wouldn't have happened. At times it could be a situation where someone, your partner, gets to leave maybe, and you believe that it's just satanic stuff because God cannot allow that to happen. And this is what I talk about when I say we have defined who God is and how God gets to show up. And even the God that we talk about is the God that we do not see in everything that is, which is just a consciousness that lives in the earth, that shows itself through an animal, that shows itself through a plant, a crystal. That's just you knowing that everything is consciousness. And this here is something that is alive. I can hold this crystal and it can share its message with me. I can hold a plant, I can communicate with a plant, a tree, and knowing that everything lives. Everything just is, and God is in everything. That is you knowing that there is abundance everywhere. I am held, I'm supported because there is all these things that are surrounding me. The birds are singing and all that. And what is it that you really desire to create? That you need God to show you its presence? Because most of the time we get caught up in how can I, instead of saying yes to whatever desire that you have, when God says, here is that inspiration that is coming through, and you say, yes, I'm in it. And you continue to align with the frequency of how it would feel like for you to have that business that is just attracting, magnetizing the customers that are in alignment with whatever product that you're offering, that is in alignment with whatever services that you are providing, and you attract your soul tribe Those who do not come through and get to ask you to even reduce your prices, they're just coming through appreciative of that which you offer. You get to be in a relationship where you are just celebrated, you are just loved, you are worshipped, because you have aligned with that part of you that is God, that knows itself as that light that you are, that is grateful for its beauty, for its magnificence, for its light, for its for that energy, for the frequency, for the sensation that it feels, which is open to its multi senses, where you just get to know that I get to say a word, and through this word I get to create, and you can just call in that frequency to say, God, source, universe, align me with the frequency of, and you get to align with that frequency of money that you want in your life. You get to align with the frequency of that relationship that is orgasm, or that is orgasmic. You get turned on by being in it and really smelling whatever that will be smelling at that particular moment, feeling if at all it's a sexual relationship or whatever. You get to feel when somebody's just touching you. You get to be in it, you get to embody it right here and right now, as if it's actualized. You get to live in it. It's not just something that you think about, you imagine. As much as you are envisioning it, it's already connected. It's one with your body. You just get to be in there and feel into it. And all you just get to say is thank you. Even if you come across things that are, there might be, your mind might be perceiving them as blocks, you just say thank you. Thank you, because you get to realize that, oh, I had that within me. Oh, that's what has been hiding. Even like I say, the voice that was coming through to say, I don't like money. You just say thank you. Share with me. You can ask it to share it with you, or you just get to send it some love so that it can get to see what it is in truth. So what is it that you desire? What is that? What is that is holding you back from fully aligning with the frequencies of your desire, fully aligning with the frequencies of your light being consciousness, that Christ consciousness, that one which knows itself, that whatever that it desires exists in this now moment in the field, and everything is instantaneous and simultaneous. So you can just align with that which you desire, that you know exists somewhere right here and right now. All you just get to see is say yes to it and just call it forth, and just feel how it feels like to be in there, and knowing that as you are feeling and bringing in this frequency, you are aligning with your desire. You are just aligning with it. You are feeling it. And the question is, when you are aligning with it, who do I get to be for me to fully feel worthy of receiving this? Because when you get to feel and align with that frequency, you can feel it if all your being is just coming through saying thank you, thank you, thank you. I was writing the I am statements yesterday, and as I was writing them and feeling it and feeling the sensations of my body and feeling the touch of my fingers on my skin, and just feeling, oh, it feels good to fall in love with myself. It feels good to be in alignment with the goddess, the queen that I am. It feels good to just feel even the feeling of my breasts that are saying, yes, I'm here. I acknowledge them, to feel all parts of my body as I was just acknowledging that God self that I am. And the voice that I had at that moment was just saying, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. That is the God aspect of myself, fully aligning with it, fully receiving it, fully knowing that this is the truth of who I am. And I felt this expansiveness to say, I am the creator of my reality. I am that love that I exude, I emanate. I know that whenever I show up, I get to uplift, I get to elevate, I get to share the love, the kindness that I am. And any thoughts or anything that wants to entertain itself to say, what would they say, or whatever, actually, I don't even have the space for that. But there was a moment when I lived in that. There was a moment even when I said, I can't remember exactly the I am statement that I said. And what I heard at that moment was, that's not true. Because as much as I was saying the word, an aspect of mine was not believing that this is true. It was not believing that it is God manifest in physical form. It was not believing that it is that that embodiment of Elohim. It was just believing that it is something that is less than, where most of the time we've been programmed to that relationship of a master slave. I get to kneel and crawl for me to be recognized. Oh, poor me. And the frequency that is coming through is remember, 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 remember. You said you will remember who you are. You said you will remember the light that you are. You said you will remember and embody your Christ consciousness. Just breathe that in and ask your heart to open so that you can receive whatever that your higher self or your God self, because even that is just the mind, how we get to look at these things, to say something is in the past, something is higher, something is lower, but while in truth we are just that. I am really. It's just knowing that it's not the higher self, it's not the inner child, it's just all of me, is just who I am, that unity consciousness, that wholeness, just being in the power of the light source, God, that I am, the life that expresses itself through me. So what is so difficult for you to align with that God aspect, to align with the light that you are, to align with the joy that you know you deserve? Because there is that joy that just gets you excited when you just connect with it and knowing that this is who I am. And there is just that emotion that you get to feel that even comes from your womb space, that comes from your yoni, that is just calling you, and it's just exciting. Your body just getting turned on to say, this is who I am. It's just exciting. You just want to laugh, you just want to scream. There is just that energy that is just coming through to say, express who I am. And this is why at times people find themselves in different situations which could be addictive. That is just you using that life force energy, that passion that wants to be experienced, because you are not directing it to the expansive things. You are not using your desire to create that which wants to be expressed through you. Therefore, the only way that you get to use it is against you, by aligning with drugs. It could be alcohol and all that. But when in truth, that energy just wants to be allowed to have fun, to be the joy, to express itself through you, to just allow it to just shine you out, actually turn every single cell in your body, turn it on, turn that light on, so that you can experience the joy that you are. Because we are just that, like when we talk about that sexual energy, just that life force energy, that you get to say yes to life, and you can just feel it. I feel our purpose. When you talk about our purpose, whether we can start with passion, because truly when we talk about our passion, it is our purpose. It just starts with passion, where it's kind of like there is this thing that I get to do, and when I get to do it, I get to lose myself in it, and it feels so good. And it's something that when I get to do, I wake up feeling inspired, feeling lit up, feeling you know alive. And you lose yourself in it. And it's something that, this is why the question, most of the time you hear people say, if there was no limitations, if what is it that you could do without getting paid? Because most of the time we give our power, we give our light, we give our yes to joy to the limitations of money, of money, of money, of money. But when you let go of all of that and just say, I just want to let this life force energy, this beautiful joy, this beautiful pleasure, I just want to let it out. I just want to let it guide me where I get to lose myself in that creation moment. What is it that you just love, that you can just allow to flow through you and with you and within you, so that you can just exude it, radiate it, emanate it outside of you, and experience it and share it with others? Because even when you talk about experience, it's just you allowing yourself to express that which you are, to express the light that you are, to express the love, the joy that you are, the smile, whatever that gets activated, the abundance, the prosperity, is when you allow yourself to bring in that sexual energy to express itself through you, which is just that pleasure, which is that yes to life, which is that confidence. When you just walk knowing that I deserve to be here, I am here supported, and with every single step that you take, the earth gets to say yes. You get to be present in every moment. You walk like you are the only one who's walking on this planet. That's just you embodying the light and the love that you are. That's you being in your power. That's being in your God aspect. knowing that I'm God. I deserve to be here. I am a multidimensional being of light. I am worthy of receiving. And you allow the inspiration to come through. And as you express that passion, eventually it becomes that purpose. That's when you not just tie it to yourself, you allow it to be something that is not just with you. It's something, it's bigger than you. That's when it becomes a purpose. When you just say, God, whose prayer can I answer? And knowing that whatever that moves you, you are not control of it. You are just allowing divine God, source, universe to work through you. You are just that vessel, and you just go with the light. You just go with the love wherever that it leads you. You allow the purpose to guide you. It just starts with that passion. And this is why I believe our power is when we are in alignment with our soul. Because our soul, we're talking about that heart, we're talking about that which has the map, that knows what we have agreed to come and express here as the God aspects that we are. But most of the time when we talk about this, what comes through is because most of the time we're afraid of responsibility. So it feels better when you feel like somebody outside of me knows what is right for me, what I deserve, because you know that you don't want to take responsibility for whatever that you get to create, right? And I still remember when this inner higher intelligence within me said, "You are God." It was just coming out like that, how you are God. And I was like, I thought for a minute, I was like, God? And I imagine everyone in the planet, like so many people who are waiting for God to make, to make a decision of who has done what, and decide whether they get to go to heaven. That is, are they going to really experience the joy, the light, the love, the expansiveness of who they are? That's you waiting for somebody else to decide for you if you are allowed to be joyful, if you're allowed to be loved, if you're allowed to create your desire, to allow them to manifest in physical form. Because when you talk about you embody your Christ consciousness, you being the embodiment of light, of Elohim, of Yahweh, God, El Shaddai, it's just you knowing that as God you can create here in this plane. You are the light, you are the creator, you are all that is, the nothing and the everything. You get to take responsibility for all that is, and knowing that you get to experience who you are through all the other people that you get to interact with. So most of the time you realize that we are afraid of taking responsibility, so we want to hold into believing that someone is going to come save us. And how does it feel like when you know that you are the one who gets to take responsibility? You're the one who has the power within you. You have the authority to really create your life the way you desire. What happens? What does your system say when you say yes to you being the embodiment of that God that you believe in, of that God that you know you are, and knowing that you get to create your desires and even your challenges as you deem them, you can perceive them as that which is calling you forth to be aware of something, to teach you something. And when you embrace and embody the God and the light that you are, you can shift that at the speed of light. And you get to say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you to your family, thank you to your ancestors for whatever that they did and the part that I did, whatever that you learned. Thank you to your partner, your ex-partner. Thank you for all the beings that you come across. But you just, as you are saying thank you, you're just telling them that I am not willing to align anymore with all that I've been taught. I'm not willing to align anymore with the limitations. I'm willing to embrace the light, the God that I am. I'm willing to expand into the joy that is emanating through me. I'm willing to radiate the light and the love that I am. Just breathe that in. Just breathe that in. And I just invite you to share with me what came through for you, and what is it that is like, no, and what is it like, yes, it feels good to be, it feels good. At times it can even start with that day, I dare you to touch me. You just inviting that truth to kind of like touch you a little bit. just hold your ear a little bit and let it just whisper that to say you have the power within you. You have the authority to change. Just allow it to be that, to flirt, because really flirting is inviting you to joy, you know. Well, when you flirt with somebody, it's not a contract or anything. It's kind of like, it feels good to just the possibilities. It's not a definite yes. It's kind of like, yeah, we can go with it. So allow the truth of who you really are in truth to just flirt with you. Invite that possibility of you knowing that you've got the authority within you. Invite the possibility of you saying yes to the joy that you are. How would it feel like? Just flirt with it. Just allow it to just whisper a little bit in your ear, and it gets a little bit ticklish. Just to hold you a little bit. Just allow it. That's just you saying, I want to know the truth. I know that I might have agreed or believed or played with this constructs for a long time, but I'm willing to know what is really my truth. Invite your higher self, your God self, to share with you what is really in truth, what is in alignment with your divinity, right? And even bring in that desire that you have, that which you want to create. Just ask it to also flirt with you and feel, how does it feel like if you get to make love with it, if you see it manifest in this reality. Whatever money that you desire to create, just invite it, and just, how would it feel like if you get to make that, whatever amount that is coming through. Just play with it. Let it just touch you, rub you a little bit, make love with it. And breathe into it. Just make love. That's just the joy of life. If you invite it, I would leave you with that, and much love. And if you really want to have some clarity of how you can dance with this beautiful, pleasurable energy, you're welcome to book a call. And I'm so feeling high on love. And this is just the love that you get to make with yourself. This is the orgasmic creation that I'm talking about, the orgasmic money, knowing that if you just embrace it as joy and let go of all the shame, the denial, because even when you talk about us denying that we are not one with God, it's just even denying that aspect of us, that sexual energy, because we have put it out there to say, that's shameful. When it comes to money, it's also there in its own box and all that. But when you know that everything just is, and I am all that, you just get to invite in this playful energy. You just get to invite in this orgasmic energy. You just get to fall in love with yourself and know that everything is just creation. And you just love yourself, and you just love your body, and knowing that it is through this light vehicle that you get to anchor those light codes, you get to anchor those love codes, you get to anchor those, whatever that you are bringing forth. I would leave you with that, magnificent beings of light. You are loved and supported at all times. And I just wish next time you can join me and ask questions and just allow that creation energy, allow that pleasurable energy to be who we are, and we get to share it with everyone that we come across. We invite them to that pleasure, to activate that within them. Much love. Bye-bye.